Good morning, Instagram. I hope you're doing well. Just looking for a filter here. Okay, there we go. Good morning, you guys. Hi, Elodie. Good morning or afternoon for you. It is Tuesday at 11:11. I'm Claritha for Jade Path, so that means it is time for my little everyday enlightenment segment. So yeah, I'm back, which I'm going to talk to you about something that I realized last week that I want to share with you guys. So thank you for being here, and if I'm just going to pin a comment here. There we go. All right. Excellent. Yes, I'm back. And if you're watching this live, thank you for being here. Good morning, Elodie, Samra, and Lunesta Creations. I love what you're doing. Hi, Vicki. Good morning. Today I want to talk about being a human being versus human doing. And I'm wanting to talk about this today because it is mid-August and it's still summer. And I know sometimes people, like, August hits and they get in this zone about, like, I gotta, all this stuff needs to happen. Kids going back to school, back into work, vacation is over, all of that stuff, which is just like commercial stuff that kind of takes over a little bit. It's not like the truth. We still live with the cycles of the earth, and so it is still very much summer for the next month or so. So we still have some time. So I'm here to help remind you to continue to cultivate that vacation mindset. And I'm talking about just keeping that sort of like summer energy of things moving slowly, taking time for yourself, and doing your best to not engage in things too much physically or mentally to help slow you down. So kind of like detaching yourself a little bit and just spending a little bit more time with yourself. So I know a lot of people have a hard time with this because they're really used to doing things because it's like their default mode. And like doing things might be your default mode. Send me an emoji if doing things is like your MO, like you're great at like doing things. And I am guilty of this myself. So last week I wasn't here and I was out of town, and I brought my laptop with me because I had to do a few things. I run a business, so there were a couple of things that I needed to do that were on my to-do list, because the to-do list is continuous. And Elodie, yes, always for you. The to-do list is ongoing and continuous, and that's okay. Just know that your to-do list will always be there, and because there's always things to do and accomplish. But if you are just joining us, I'm talking about being a human being versus a human doing. And so I'm talking about being out of town last week on a mini vacation. And last Tuesday, my husband had meetings all day. So it meant that I had the day to myself. No plans, out of the office. It was great. I love those types of days because I like being on vacation and having multiple options of things that I can do. And I can do all of them. I can do some of them. I can do none of them. I can just nap all day. And if you've known me for a while, you know this girl is a big fan of naps. So on vacation, I really like to be sort of organic and fluid about how I spend my time. And so anyway, this past Tuesday, I opened up my laptop with the intention of, I had to check a few things. I had to reply to a few emails, and all of a sudden 2 hours had gone by, and I was not happy with that because that is not how I intended to spend my time that morning. And I know this happens for you guys all the time. Like, the time gets away from us, what we think, we have an idea of what we want to do, and then something else happens. And my point is that even though I had this, like, my decision for that day was just to be and organically see like what came up. I was going to go to a museum, go to the pool, that type of thing. And it was not intended to be a day of doing for me, which the morning kind of turned into that. So I have responsibilities. You have responsibilities. Everybody in the world has responsibilities and that require us to do things to move things forward in our life. And that's part of the deal. It's part of why we're here. That's totally fine. However, I want to encourage you, it is important to balance the doing of things with the being of ourselves, if that makes sense. I'm going to say that again. It is important to balance the doing with the being. And by being, I mean experiencing things without expectation, experiencing things without being attached to what they look like, and experiencing things without having to like accomplish something. Just being in the moment and focusing on the experience of what is happening and what the information that is coming through our senses versus like having a specific outcome, because we get so distracted by the end sometimes we forget to enjoy the being. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. So I'm encouraging you, this is your reminder to spend more time being, and whether it is like 5 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, a few hours a week, to carve out time for you to just be. And whether that is, it's much easier to do that on vacation because like, you know, the scheduling of things is different. We don't have like places we have to be on a regular basis, people we have to show up for, meetings, calls, work, that type of thing. However, we can cultivate that into our everyday, but you have to be decisive about it and you have to schedule it in a little bit. So I'm just asking you guys to be cognizant of caring about, one, how you feel, and to carve out time to just be. So you can be a human being, less of a human doing. And going back to what I just said about really being present to ourselves and really tapping into our senses, that's what really can kind of like help cultivate that experience. So for like Elodie, she just said surf is my now time. So peaceful. That is fantastic because one, you're out in nature, which always helps for us, our minds to slow down and for the days and moments to feel a little bit more rich. So yeah, being outside surfing, and way to go, is a really great time, is a really great way to just like be with yourself. And so yeah, using our senses to kind of get into that human beingness of ourselves is really great. So for me, an example for me, last week I went, once I stopped working, I went up to the pool, and just getting in water, feeling the sun, like that really helped to sort of like realign me. So anything with the senses, for a lot of people it's music. So I would encourage you, you know, sometimes just like close your eyes, put on your favorite piece of music that makes you feel good. Nothing that like stirs the angst up inside. Classical music's a great way because of the vibrations and things, but just really getting into your sense body about how things feel to bring you to that present moment for you to sort of like cultivate your human beingness. So sight, sound, touch, smell is a huge one because our sense of smell can like, it bypasses certain parts of our brain. So we can feel a certain way. That's why like essential oils are so powerful. Or that's why you might smell something and it brings you back to like a moment that you had when you were like 7 years old. So smelling, all of our senses. So like start to incorporate those when you feel like you need to slow down and just be, because we need to spend, like I was saying, if you just joined, hi Hallie, hi Kiki, we need to balance out the doingness that is so prevalent in our culture with the beingness and getting to know our inner self, getting to know our higher self, because that we're a little imbalanced right now in our culture, but we're doing the work to try to rebalance things. So that is what today's enlightenment was about, everyday enlightenment segment was about. So I hope that resonated with you guys, human being versus human doing, and just really getting back to ourselves, cultivating that relationship with yourself, because that ultimately will help be part of your guidance system for how you navigate life and you know, your happiness and your your inner knowingness. So I hope you guys liked that. If you have any questions for me, please write them below, or if you have any comments, or if you want to share your favorite way of being in your beingness, I would love to hear it. So for me, I'll just share music, meditation, and being outside. Those are my top 3 things for me to just sort of like, whew, okay, and let everything else drop away, and for me to sort of like reconnect with myself and not having to do anything. So I would love to hear yours. So please write them below, and I will catch you guys next week, Tuesday at 11:11 Central Standard Time, for another segment of Everyday Enlightenment. So take this with you through your week, carve out some time for yourself, and I will see you guys soon.